This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
Welcome to DBL. It's Thursday, April 2nd. I know it looks just like Al.
No glasses.
No glasses.
No glasses.
It's Jeff. Al is off. I'm here with Jeff. I am Tori. Just me and you, buddy.
I like it.
I do too. We're going to get this right started.
We are?
Yep.
No, actually, we're going to get it wrong started. Let's start again.
Okay, we're going to get this started correctly. Everyone's working remotely. Lindsay and Brendan, we miss you terribly. I've been texting with them all night last night. Only 4 of us in this big empty studio. Hello. Hello.
Wow.
Yeah, it's our intention, though, here at DBL to give you the facts, not stoke fear, and, of course, to have a little fun while doing it. We're like the burger and fries of talk show hosts.
Burger and fries, huh? You still working on that?
Yeah, I'll say I'm a truffle fry.
Ooh, that's fancy.
Garlic aioli. We want to let you know what's going on in the world, but we want to know from you. Send us your stories, your comments to our social pages, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. We're always listening. I'm getting so many responses, and I'm writing back to as many as I can, and I love it. But let's kick things off with a look at the headlines. The coronavirus continues to hit more for more and more Americans. Record-breaking unemployment numbers were just released this morning. 6.6 million for unemployment last week.
Wow.
I can't even say it. That broke the previous week's record of 3.3 million. So it literally went up 100%. Meantime, the strategic...
Good math.
I think it's 50%. Is it 100%?
It is, doubled.
Okay, I was hoping I just went over that quickly. Meantime, the Strategic National Stockpile is shipping out the last round of protective personal gear in its inventory. Speaking of PPE, one of the questions a lot of people are asking is, do you need to wear a face mask when you're at the grocery store? We've sort of been back and forth. Well, the mayor of Los Angeles is now telling everyone in that city, 4 million people, that they should start wearing face masks to combat the virus. He even wore one to make the announcement. Let's watch.
With today's guidance from Governor Newsom and Dr. Ferrer from County Public Health, we are now recommending that Angelenos use homemade face coverings when they are in public and interacting with others. And we're going to have to get used to, seeing each other like this. This will be the look. So let me lead as mayor and let people know this is how we're going to be seeing each other.
Wow. He couldn't have picked a brighter color or something.
I appreciate his message, what he's trying to do. And actually, there is no stigma involved when I see people at the store, if I have to go to a grocery store and someone has, I actually appreciate that a little bit more. But the thing is, I'm confused about is we have Dr. Coley on, which I believe we're speaking with her. Are we going to speak with her today? Okay, we're going to speak with her later on. They informed us not to get those masks. Right? So if you're making them at home, I understand that, a bandana, something to cover your mouth, but I don't want to push that everyone should run to the store and get these masks because then it shortens it for the nurses and doctors.
Absolutely, and the supply is so dire.
Right.
So I would make one at home if you want. What Dr. Coley said is they're learning more, and they're learning that there's a lot more asymptomatic people. So people might have it and never know. So that's why they're saying implement the masks. And if you have a bandana at home, it's not a bad idea if you do have to make an essential run. I went with gloves to the grocery store and did like some jazz hands, but I saw people in full protective gear and no one gave a second look.
No, and you know what I was digging up that I have, like some people might have those. So you ever see those, like those skiing neck scarves that are really light?
Yes.
That go around your neck, and then when you just go somewhere, you just pull them over your face. I think that
it's
works.
It's a whole new fashion thing.
Yeah.
Kanye is going to hit like a Yeezy line of masks.
I hope not. Mine were free, like when you go to a Bears game,
Oh man, free masks, I love it. All right, more and more media stars have the coronavirus, and they are sharing now the symptoms and what it's like. It's getting really real. So CNN anchor Chris Cuomo is still broadcasting his show from his basement, despite testing positive yesterday. He shared a story about his nightmare fever from the night before. Take a look.
This virus came at me. I've never seen anything like it, okay? And I was shivering so much that Sanjay's right. I chipped my tooth. These are not cheap. So the sun comes up. I'm awake. I was up all night. It was I'm telling you, I was hallucinating. My dad was talking to me. I was seeing people from college, people I haven't seen in forever. It was freaky.
Meantime, actress Ali Wentworth, I love her, revealed yesterday that she's tested positive. She is, of course, married to George Stephanopoulos of GMA. Her Instagram post described her symptoms as a high fever, horrific body aches, and a heavy chest. She also shared this video with GMA. Let's take a look.
You know I'm feverish if I'm allowing myself to go on national television with no makeup on. I had a real tightness in my chest. And it wasn't until the fever started that I realized this can't be a common summer cold. And between the time I got tested, which was 3 days ago, and now I've had high fevers, sort of 101, 103. Achy joints is a big thing. It feels like a really, really horrible flu.
Yeah, I read somewhere that it's like I got hit by a Mack truck and you can't hardly breathe. I mean, it's not, and these are healthy people.
Right.
I mean, Chris Cuomo is like jacked.
But then you get the flip side to that coin when people are asymptomatic and they have no idea, like Idris Elba. So it's very confusing to people out there. Again, I want to ask Dr. Coley, but I believe half the people who contract this are asymptomatic.
A lot.
So I don't know the numbers, but I believe it's half.
Yeah, it's like 25 to 40%. I believe you're right as well. With the vast majority of the country under stay-at-home orders, there's still a lot of people who don't seem to understand what that really means. So we've broken it down, super simple, burgers and fries. Am I right?
I like
social distancing do's and don'ts. So let's start with what you can do. First, wash those hands. We've all got more time, so take that extra 20 seconds and scrub away. Next, go outside, take a walk. Get some fresh air, some vitamin D. Just make sure you're keeping a safe distance from others, at least 6 feet apart. Next, take up that hobby. Now's a great time to learn a language, a second language on Duolingo. It's a great app that I'm taking Italian on, or even take up cross-stitching. It has worked wonders for me. Nerd alert, finally, do reach out to others. We all need to connect. So pick up that phone, FaceTime a friend, even write us here at DBL or any of us on our social pages. You are not alone. Well, now to the don'ts, and it seems like common sense, but you'd be surprised how many people are doing this wrong. First, don't go to social places, public places like a playground, unless you're an essential worker or it is absolutely necessary. 2, stick to the essentials like the grocery store, pharmacy, doctor's visit, or taking care of family and friends. Next, don't cut those bangs. Don't do it. I've done this. It rarely ends well. Also, don't give yourself any crazy new hairstyle. Just don't. You can thank me later. Finally, don't call your ex. Now is not the time to check in and see how they're holding up. No matter how lonely you are, chances are this ain't gonna end well. I've checked in with several people, and you know who you are, that are talking to your ex, and I say, no, 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 no.
Good advice.
Thank you.
Very well.
But it's bad because I get that you're lonely. I get it. If you're all alone in confinement, this is not easy. But please talk to me, write me. Just don't reach out. Don't. No.
I don't want to feel like I'm bragging here, but I always I have a group of high school friends that we all connect, a group of college friends, a group of California friends, and we're always on FaceTime. But the group messages are getting out of control for me. They're over 100 a day because everyone's chiming in and there's 10 people in each message, even our own group message here. I'm like.
Can I be honest? That's like one of my only group messages.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I didn't want to brag.
You did.
I'm sorry. I was complaining about my giant house.
You're like 100 friends?
No, I'm saying just group messages, and I would limit group messages to 5 people.
Thanks.
If you have 15 people in your group message, it's out of control.
You should be grateful you have 15 friends. This guy was so deep.
It got weird.
It got weird. I do have a lot of friends. I was kind of kidding.
In the next break, or in the next block, we'll talk to Dr. Coley, and then we'll talk to a therapist.
Another doctor right after that. All right, we'll be right back. Thanks, guys.
You know, Credit Karma can show us
Welcome back to DBL. I do want to say Kelly Schuberth and Patty and I are on a group text, and it's okay. That's a group. That's a 3. I didn't know that counted. So
our coworkers.
Our coworkers. So
not
cool.
Everybody knows that.
Oh well, they're good people. We're all about facts, not fear, here and providing information to keep you and your loved ones safe. So what do we do every day? We bring on the experts. Dr. Payal Kohli joins us live again to answer your questions about the coronavirus. Real quickly, I do want to ask a new study coming out of MIT, which I think is your alma mater. They're now saying a sneeze can travel farther than 6 feet. Am I right?
Really?
Yes, it is my alma mater. Go MIT. Ooh. And yes, the study was actually very eye-opening. So I don't know if you guys are wondering how we came up with this 6 feet theory, but it really originated in the 1930s when we were studying tuberculosis. And the theory is basically that when we talk, the heavy droplets fall down close to us in the ground and the small droplets evaporate upwards. But what this new study showed us is that it's not actually so simple, because when we talk, you actually get air and gas trapping in those droplets. So not only can they linger in the air longer than we thought, but they can actually travel a lot further.
Oh, wow.
And really what determines how far they travel is the velocity with which they were ejected. So talking, like I'm doing right now, probably not a very high velocity event, but sneezing, coughing, even things like laughing, singing, cheering, all of those can propel those a lot farther than 6 feet.
Wow.
So what I've been telling people is that if you're just talking to someone, that 6 feet is probably adequate. But as you guys do, if you're laughing out loud, maybe you want to increase the distance just a little bit, because it is possible that those droplets could be going farther.
That's good news.
All right, Doctor, I have 2 questions for you. One, does MIT have a mascot?
It does. It's the beaver, and that's nature's engineer. No, it gets better.
Nature's engineer?
And his name is, yep, his name is Tim, which is MIT spelled backwards.
Amazing.
And our fight song has cosine and sine in it, so one day I'll sing that for you guys.
Okay, that might be the best piece of information I've ever gotten. But on to the real facts here, Dr. Kohli. I appreciate you. Let's get to some viewer comments. Rick writes in, when I get my mail these days, I get goosebumps. Even if I practice good social distancing, there seems to be a lot of glossy pieces of mail arriving daily. Should I leave it in the garage for a day or so?
So, Rick, we don't know how long it really lasts on paper. We do know that cardboard is about 24 hours. But what I do is I bring it in, I throw out the envelopes, and then I wash my hands really well afterwards. And, Rick, I really don't want you to be getting goosebumps every time you check your mail, because remember, Tori always says, no panic. And this is a pandemic, not a panic-demic, which a lot of people are saying that this is creating. So it's good to be mindful, but don't freak out.
Look at that MIT brain. With the pandemic, I couldn't even get it. Next, Sue says she's heard about 2 different strains, an S strain and an L strain. She heard the L strain is more severe and has more symptoms. Is this true?
So let's talk about the strains. And the way the virus originally started was it started in bats, and then it mutated into an intermediary animal. And we think this is a pangolin. And then it mutated further and came into humans. And when it first came into humans, it was this S strain that we saw really in Wuhan, China. But then it mutated farther and made this L strain. And what we've learned about the L strain is that, number one, it's more prevalent. So 70% of the circulating virus is the L strain, not the S strain as it originally was. And number 2, it actually spreads faster. So it is certainly a little bit more aggressive than the S strain. But what we don't know yet, you guys, is whether just because it spreads faster, does it actually create a more critical illness? And that question you asked earlier, Jeff, about why some people have no symptoms at all, whereas some get extremely sick and maybe even pass away. We're not entirely clear if this has to do with the body's response to the virus, with the virus itself, how much of the virus gets in there. So there's still a lot of unknowns. But we do know that there's 2 strains. We know one spreads faster, but we don't know whether that means it makes you sicker or not.
Wow, I didn't even really realize there were 2 strains. I feel ignorant about that. That's great to know.
I didn't. I think we're learning more about this every day, and I think things that we learned already in the past couple weeks are coming to fruition that they're not true. So I think each day it's good to have Dr. Kohli on and give us the facts.
You can call her Doc. She lets you if you're friends with her, and I'm friends with her, so that's cool.
Wait till you get to know her a little longer, Doc.
Yes. Well, one of the other questions. Sorry, guys. One more thing. One of the other questions was whether the two strains means the vaccine will still work against both strains. And the answer is yes, because even though they're different strains, they're genetically overlapping quite a bit. So we actually do think the vaccine will probably be effective against both. So that's good news.
That is good news. Speaking of good news, before we go, it's time for Dr. Coley's Make a Noise Silver Lining.
They did it for me.
Oh, that was good. All right, today's good news update is
I like Steph's noise.
Yeah, what's your noise?
I don't know. I forgot it.
Okay, cool. Good talks. But very important.
It was ding,
ding.
Ding.
What do you have for us for silver lining, Doug?
So silver lining today for me was when I opened my eyes, the first thought that I had was an attitude of gratitude, because I realized for the first time just how many things I had been taking for granted all my life, whether that's getting into the car and going to the salon or going to see a friend, going out to a fancy dinner, traveling wherever I want, all the things in our life that we've never stopped to think just what a privilege it is for us to really have the access to do. I think this pandemic has made us realize that. And once it's gone, I know when I get those back, I'll be a lot more grateful that they're here.
She should just take over the show. She's like unbelievable.
I love that.
I know. I miss hugs. I just miss a hug.
But I hope people, like Dr. Coley said, take the appreciation that the things that you used to have and take that into when this is all over. Instead of going back to, I hate the government, I hate this, I hate that. We all have a common enemy right now, and we're focused on that. Once that enemy goes away, I hope we don't go back to hating each other. So great point, Doc.
I think it's great. Thank you so much, Doc. We will see you tomorrow. So if you have a question about the coronavirus you want answered by the doctor, write to us at social media. You can also email info@dailyblastlive.com. And like always, as she says, no panic. We do this Italian thing. Just prevention and precautions. We'll be right back.
Not all of us.
You don't want to do it? I'm doing it. Welcome back to DBL. Taylor Swift and Dolly Parton are opening up their hearts and wallets to help out during the crisis. T Swift donated to an independent record store in Nashville to keep it afloat. The money will also cover the workers' health care for 3 months. Way to go, Taylor.
Dr. Najia Boomerad, who's been my dear friend for years, he's been in research there for a long time, and he was just telling me that they were making some great strides in what they called a bridge treatment to save lives while they find a cure, for the disease. So I thought, well, they're doing all this work, so why not just get involved in that and maybe encourage some other people to donate too? Because right now is when we need it.
I love her.
Good on both of them. You know what I mean?
True.
They're stepping up. They're doing their part. People might say they're not doing enough, or people say they need to do something else. They're stepping up. Good on both of them.
I agree.
But here's the major question, okay?
What?
I've been singing Jolie all morning because of you, and then you said you had a joke to go with it, and I'm dying to know what the joke is.
Okay, you guys ready? Because Dolly Parton donated for the syringe, or as you might call it, I saw this on Twitter, a vaccine, a vaccine, a vaccine, a vaccine. I thought it was hilarious.
It's good.
It's not bad. The ba-dum ching came in too early and ruined it. Let's blame it on that. I'm kidding. Oh,
hey, that was a good one, Tori. I love that. That was a good joke.
Take two on live TV.
When did you think of that?
I saw it on Twitter, and I thought it was like the funniest thing I'd ever seen. I laughed so hard.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. It was late at night, and I was alone eating another raw Pop-Tart.
Never mind. I was going to make fun of the group message thing again, but you are in group messages. You downplayed it.
Yeah, I do. I have a couple more, guys. Don't worry. My mom, my dad, my sister. We'll be right back. They're all on that group chat.
Promotional.
Four-piece chevron embossed sheet set. This elegant ultra plush set includes one flat sheet, one fitted sheet, and two pillowcases. Normally as much as $79 to $109. Now it's only $29. That's a savings up to 73% off. Moving on to Contour's RX Neck Rescue Neck Lifting Strips. Neck Rescue is a non-surgical correcting strip that has developed to improve the appearance of the neckline. Normally as much as $40, now it's only $19. A savings up to 53% off. Feel the therapy with this Purisonic Ultrasonic Aerotherapy Diffuser with remote and even includes 3 100% pure essential oils for relaxing. Normally it's as high as $55. Now it's just $25. A savings up to 55% off. How about this 2-pack iWalk faux leather 7.5 watt, 10 watt quick charge wireless chargers. Normally as much as $84, now it's just $20, a savings up to 76% off. Head on over to morningsave.com to snag these amazing deals at the lowest prices. You can even visit morningsave.com on your smartphone.
Good time to do some online shopping. Before we go, take a look at this example of social distancing done well. This neighborhood in Britain gets together every day for a social distance dance party. That looks lit. Of course, everyone keeps a safe distance, but that doesn't stop them from getting down.
See, I feel like the person recording is mocking.
I think
they're not part of it. They're just like, look at my crazy neighbors. You know, but we spun it in a positive direction, but they're like, everyone's crazy in my neighborhood.
I thought there was some contempt in the video recording.
Because you would see him like bouncing, right? Like a little, like he's into it.
He's a steady cam.
He's just straight like, everyone here is crazy.
Nobody likes this.
But hey, listen, it's a cool neighborhood.
I also want a neighborhood that, like, I know a couple people, hey Kat, hey Joe, having some wine on their porch. It makes me feel good.
Little cheers from the porch.
Little cheers, little salut, yeah?
We'll get in a group message. We already are in a group message, Tori.
We do. Reminder, we are on Facebook and YouTube. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Too many people talking.